Welcome everyone. We are back again today for another daily teaching, day 6. And today is called Love or Fear. We're going straight to the feelings, the truth. So simplify life down to a choice. It started with ego or soul. And when I've taught anything before, go straight into the ego and look at all the different areas. So we said grow or protect, negative or positive, unhealthy, healthy, time, light, fear or love. So I'd go through all of those to give examples. And whilst meditating on this one, the truth is so simple. And if we always started at the truth, because it is so simple, it's not accepted. Imagine signing up for this course and it says, ego or soul? That's it. No, that's your ego. Just what's your truth? What would love do? What would Christ do? Imagine if that was just every day. It's too easy. I haven't learned anything. Yeah, if we had a choice, we could literally just stick to life like that. Straight to the point. And that saying has a really powerful visual meaning, which we're going to come on to. So ego or soul, underneath there is the fear, the love, the negative and the positive words, our actions, protect or grow. And with under that, there's subcategories, and you could go dive deep into it, and it'd be a good overview. However, if we break it down even more simple and look at today, we're going to start with feelings, but one topic at a time. And that way, when you become aware of all of this, and we have a bit more detail in the meaning, which the detail is still so simple, we overcomplicate everything when we search for meaning. Then we'll do one session of ego. Because we say ego or soul, but if you are soul, there is no ego. So just by a simple explanation, we need to put that across. Because the truth is, you are the soul. You are love. And it's only the mind that chooses otherwise. So when we go on to the ego, it'll be a full soul slap, yet you'll be prepared for it. People take things personally. People get offended. People get triggered from words. Yet usually it's because there's a lack of awareness. So we're going to go through the phases of love or fear from feelings. And we're going to look at the three-part being, the soul, the mind, and body. And then we're also going to simplify life down to a choice. So we've got a lot of really powerful visual representations. So we're going to start at the body first. So the feelings inside the body. We have love and we have fear. It is truly that simple. It's one or the other. So the simple explanation, love or fear from feelings. You could also use the word at ease, or fear would be dis-ease. There's an uncomfort or there's a real comfort. So it's one or the other. It's that simple. So let's have a look at how do feelings come about. How do we know what feelings are taking place inside the body? Well, there's an action that takes place first of all. And we could look at the external world, things that you're watching, things that take place in front of your eyes. We can look at others. So what other people do, what other people say. And then we have our feelings, our choice. That's the action. And because of what takes place in our life, we then have a reaction. And if we go back to the mind, remember, is the mind. It can go forwards and back. We have a choice. Say reaction. So imagine if someone did say something out loud in public, and your reaction was offence, and you got triggered by what was said on the outside world. A reaction could be someone said something and you have not reacted through words or even face expressions, yet you're fidgeting. There's still a visual uncomfort somewhere. You can see it. If someone had a camera in the room and we watched it back, it'd be obvious something triggered you there. Look at your body language. Remember, this language, the body, the feelings, its emotions, we see it. It's a truth before words are even said. And we could get worried. We could get aggressive. We can become sad. So our reaction usually takes place from the action. Soul action, mind reaction. And then you've got the body. The emotions inside the body. Emotions in motion. So by that reaction is stimulated and set the body an instruction. This is how it just made me feel. All labels from the mind, and the body's now reacting based on the instruction from the mind of what you've labeled of how you feel. So as we said, stress, fear, it's all determined on the person experiencing, which means the person has to make a choice of how they react, what they think about it, and then the body would just respond. So we're going to try to break the cycle today, and we're going to start at the body. So if we was to start with love as a feeling inside the body, how would you describe that as a feeling? Well, I'd use words like peace, joy, love, the ultimate feeling, bliss, calmness, stillness, happiness. All of these fall under love. It's very easy. It's a natural reaction. And you can see it. It's a knowing. You can feel it. It's an energy. It's love as a feeling. We can be very descriptive, and we don't have to go chasing the highest of loves, the romantic loves that we all see on the movies, which is a love that I do encourage and wish more people experienced. Yet there's a chase there. Love is effortless, yet love is clear. Love is simple. It's the soul, it's the truth. So a great way to actually really know the truth is when you find out and feel and experience what is not the truth. So the opposite of love, the opposite of your truth, as a feeling, is fear. And if we were to label fear as a feeling, that would be being triggered, getting worried, getting angry, rage, violence, red mist, anxious, depressed, blame, guilt. All labels and descriptions of a feeling inside our body which we can give fear. Love or fear. It's the truth. So that's the emotions. In motion, we're continuing an experience that we've now labeled. And yet if we really simplified it down to just the point, straight to the point, it's feel love. And when we can go back to the foundations, back to the start, fear or love, it's one or the other. So if you're not in that love space, you now get a choice. You now have to pay attention, like, what has triggered me? And then you work on that. So we go into the details a bit more, so we can then go into reaction. And we get triggered based on what other people say. We get angered, we get fidgety. We cry, we shout, we scream, we run away. We sulk, we whinge, we gossip. Can you see the labels? There's a lot of description, and there's loads of versions of what fear is. So the reaction of fear is so many different things, yet it's still fear. Inside the body, it's a disruption, it's a dis-ease. So we can catch ourselves at every point when it gets to that, love or fear. And if it's not your truth, then what is the opposite? You find the label once you bring it back to the truth. So I encourage people to go searching once you bring yourself back to stillness, once you bring yourself back to the start, because everything is a lot clearer. There's less distractions. There's less uncomfort. That's clarity. So simplify life down to a choice, fear or love, from a feeling. And from that feeling, there was a thought that reacted to something. And if we just change that and become aware of it, or a non-reaction, then that feeling will not be ignited. Ignite. It's light inside the body. It's a spark. And we've created it. We've manifested it. It's like a magic spell that we've put on the body. The magician of the mind does a magic trick, witchcraft or magic, and then the body responds. So if we then start breaking it down to the reactions and the feelings, I'm going to show you how, as a feeling inside the body, we can say fear, but it's something a bit deeper than that. So when kids have tantrums, when people have an outburst, if you followed it all the way through, what usually happens after an outburst? Well, out of all the emotions you could think of, and you literally lost it, and then after all of that, what would be the last reaction? What do we recommend the last reaction would be if it was in that fear state? Because this changed everything for me. And all these labels we get attached to, we go and then dig in deeper to find the meaning. And the meaning that we're searching for always seems to come from other people. And if you're brutally honest with yourself, no one can tell you how you're feeling. No one. Your feelings are the truth. People can tell you what you think, what you've seen the feeling might be, and they dismiss that. They disagree with it. Yet your feelings are the truth. So that leaves us with a simple, powerful truth here, and this is where the ownership comes in. Every feeling and every description about yourself should come from yourself in your own words, which is the confirmation of the truth. And that's where being honest comes in, because we can go and seek help and look at the experts, look at other people's stories and experiences and bring awareness to it, yet know that you're completely unique, one of a kind, 1 in 8 billion. So to trust in ourselves, we have to describe how we're feeling rather than going looking for it. Once we get our own description, the simple one, we can then dig deeper for a more detailed one to confirm our truth. So it's like me and my spiritual teachings. I now can go back to biblical texts, the Bible, and I realize how beautiful it all is, because all of the words in there from other people are confirming exactly how I'm feeling, exactly what I experienced. They also give me more inspiration or a more detailed description of it. And I'm like, oh, that's it. I'd yet to be able to find the words for it. There's a relation there, a relationship. It's the soul, it's energy, it's truth. And when it rings true, it just fits, it just clicks, it just is. So let me share the screen with you, because we got all the labels, we got the reactions of why. We don't have to go into deeper meaning than that. After we reset ourselves, we can then go and dig in. It's like going back in time on your phone. You're looking through your photos now, which, imagine those are all past moments that took place in your life. And in those moments, you had different emotions, different reactions, different memories from it. But now we're watching it as the observer. We're learning from it. We can tell our story. God, that was tough. Look at me there. Look how sad I looked. It's not inside you anymore. It's not your truth anymore. So this is where we can get descriptive. So simplify life down to a choice. Ego or soul, but we're going feelings today inside the body. Fear or love. If we're in our soul, it's just love. There is no other, it's just love. And to prove that it is just the soul, there is no fear in love. But perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. Punish mind. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. John 4:18. So if we're not feeling love, we're definitely in fear as a feeling. And the fear aspect, which I'm going to show you now, is not from the body. It's always from the mind. It's a fearful response. It's a fearful reaction. The body's just responding to the commands. And because your body knows the truth, which means it's listening to what you're telling it, and it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's where suffering comes in. That's when it hurts, because it knows it loves you so much. I'm going to do what you say, but I don't want to do it. So at the body is sadness. It's love or sadness as a feeling. Because under sadness, you can have hate, rage, anger, frustration, worry, anxious, blame. Yet think about an outburst. At the very end, people scream, and then they cry. It's like the ultimate low, a breakdown, down low. And the worst thing about all of this, sadness is the soul. Yet we stop ourselves from crying. We stop ourselves at the sadness. So sadness is the ultimate flush. That lets it all out if we experience sadness. So think about the body of a release if we accepted it as sadness. The mind's giving it all these other labels. It's okay to get angry in a restaurant. It's okay to get triggered, wound up. It's okay to shout. It's okay to be rude. Yet we stop ourselves from crying. No, that's embarrassing. Yet it's always that part after. So if we can accept sadness is the soul flush, it's the release. And I really want to show you then, the mind is the moon. And nature is telling us in plain sight. The soul shows up every day as the sun. It's love. And now you know that. If you're not in that love space, you've chosen the opposite. Or you're unconsciously unaware that you're in fear. Or you're going against your truth and it's hurting. So if we look at the moon cycles, all the different egos, all the different personality traits, and then as it goes all the way around, it's a full moon. It comes back to oneness. Yet if we look at the moon cycle, there's also a time where there's no moon, no mind, 1 day a month. It's a new moon. So if we're not able to be sadness and we're holding it in, and we have sadness stored in because it is just abbreviations of fear. Over that whole course of the month, if we allow us to be sadness, we'll be able to let out a lot of unwanted energy inside our body. And if we use sadness as the best way to experience it, it's in the stillness. So that day off of the mind is to be still, is to relax, is to let go. And if we did all of that in full awareness, with the intention of just sad, just let it out, you'll see how much easier it is. We get confused of what other labels they are. Why will we get angry and triggered that something is making us sad? And if we say it's other people, then if we look and be honest, then it's something we have to work on. It's something that we have to grow from. It's something that we have to reflect back on and keep going again and again. Because really, every action creates a reaction. The mind is a choice. We choose to react to it. And you can quite clearly see that from certain situations in your life. And let's look at information that you've been paying attention to over the last 4 years. A couple of years ago, how would you have reacted compared to how you're reacting now? The information is the same. In fact, the information's got a lot more darker, more challenging, more confusing. But you're choosing now how to react. So if we can then be still, neutral, and avoid all reactions, we're just witnessing. Look what takes place in the body. Love, peace, calmness, stillness. And then the body gets to witness the mind go off, that ego. It's like that little brat at school just kicking off. Like, whoa, that's really triggered. Oh, it nearly come out my mouth there, and I had to hold that in. I had to bite my lip. But you're choosing. So there's like 2 phases to it. There's a reaction from the ego, and then our body just follows suit, automated. Well, there's a reaction from the ego, yet you're now in tune with your body. You're just watching it. And after a while, like a kid that has tantrums all the time, and they see the mum and dad's not reacting now, there's no reaction. After a few attempts, they're not going to do it anymore. They realize, I can't play these tricks. They've worked this one out. And that becomes a truth. So we have to show up like this all the time. And reactions because of other people, because of the world outside, because we're choosing to turn up, or we're carrying it with us from the day before. We haven't let it go. We haven't dealt with it. We haven't put any time or attention. Tension's your light into it. So we become aware of that. The thoughts are fear, and that feeling is sadness. All the different labels. So ego or soul, love or fear. So visually, you can see people are negative, they're moany, they're needy, triggered, they're fidgety, they're sick, they're angry, they're nervous, they're anxious, they're agitated, scared, grumpy, depressed, frustrated. It's very easy. You can feel it, you can sense it. And then the opposite, love. Warm, sexy, confident, creative, happy, peaceful, beautiful, welcoming, smiley, honest, collected, expressive. All different components of love. So if we then come to this image, which I showed you the other day, and we have the eye, we're just paying attention to the eye. We've got the eye and then we've got the dot. The gap in the middle is the mind out the way. So that dot is the soul. So when I said straight to the point, you go straight to the soul. So we're going to use the yin and yang now. Straight to the point, the ego or soul. And this is just a description, because remember, if it's ego or soul, it'd just be ego, because soul is just complete, which we'll come on to after, make even more sense. So straight to the point, love or sadness as a feeling. Your body needs to experience sad if you're holding on to something. You can label it any other of these. So look in the darkness, it's all ego, all labels. If you just go straight to the point, you see it's sadness. That's what you need to experience. That's the soul. And if you're feeling anything that's peaceful, bliss, calm, you're in the love space. It's automatic, you know. So straight to the point is straight to the truth, the soul. It doesn't need any more explanation. So as a simple lesson, if you're not feeling great, if you're feeling unwell, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling worried, anxious, you're just in your ego, you're just in fear, you're just experiencing sadness. If we let go of chasing, what does this mean? What's happened to me in the past? And that's the reason why I'm like this now. You're choosing right now in this moment to hold on to something. And then we search for the meaning and then we give it a justification. That's why. But like I said, if it was that simple, which it is when you go straight to the point, if people could accept the truth, there'd be less suffering. So if we start explaining the opposite of the truth, because that's our experience in this lifetime, then when it comes back round to ego, we're now aware of it. We anticipate it. We have a little game with it, a cat and mouse. And sometimes the ego gets the better of you and you're like, oh, you got me there. Next time. And I have a little game with my ego all the time. And I do say it's like the little brat at school. It's the naughty me. And you know when kids are being naughty, but they giggle and stuff. And I say as a mum and dad, because I've watched many of my friends' kids do this, you want to laugh, even though you know and they know have done something wrong. They've said something naughty. But you want to laugh still, because it's like, oh, kids. It's so simple when we look at life like this. So watch this. The truth straight to the point, the dots, the yin and yang. All the labels in these big parts, it really is just ego or soul. From the soul as a description, but it's soul. Love or fear, which is if we start at the mind all the time, because it's the mind, the thoughts that trigger the feelings. So if we work out why are we getting triggered, what is this reaction, the fear reaction? Fearful means full of fear inside the body. But the body knows the truth. The body doesn't know fear. The body is trying to pretend, is this fear, is this fear? Everything else doesn't feel right. Really wants you to rest, to go asleep, get your mind out of the way, let me take over, because I love you. And really it's just sadness. So if we carry these emotions day and day and day, look, it's emotions moving, emotion. That gets heavy. That then becomes a constant, it becomes normality. Then the mind goes, oh, that's a label. I've got ADHD. I've had depression for years. We're then giving it a justification again. We hold on. So think of sadness as a soul flush. It is the ultimate low, but when you're at your lowest in life, God is always there. In fact, God is more in the darkness where no one else is. It's your darkness, it's your shadows. If you go with full awareness, which is your light, it's like going deep sea diving. You have to let go, you have to be completely still. You have to surrender. You have to switch everything else off. Just focus on that one thing. What is this reaction? What is the fear? So sadness or love. All these labels come after. When you're looking back, that was triggered. I was worried. And if you go through the experience and you are unconscious, you do not know what come over you. Then again, we learn from it. So the simple description of the mind, love or fear, the more detailed one when we're searching for the meaning, I always go when you're in that soul, love space as a feeling. There's no need to go otherwise. It's like when we're going to have conversations with others and we'll go through this, if they've turned up and you can see they're raging, you can see they're angry, you can see they're ready for an argument, you just don't enter. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to give a reason. Wait until the energy's changed first, and then we can go and address what took place. So the yin and yang as a feeling, love or sadness. From the mind, love or fear. And then straight to the point, it's just ego or soul. So if we go beyond labels, the body only knows feelings. And then the feedback to the mind says, right, give me a story on this one now. Note this down. And it all adds to your story. You learn from it. So when I said the mind out the way, straight to the point, this is how we should look at the experience. So the soul is right in the middle, always. And every feeling inside the body is a full spectrum of feelings. So because the mind's out the way, sometimes we get caught and we are angered, or God, I got really triggered and wound up then. Your mind comes in after to give it a label. You have a choice, come back to the soul. So think about the full spectrum of emotions. Now you know them all. Can you remember this game? You now have a choice. If I know what down in the darkness did to me at that period of time in my life, and I will never go back there again. What drinking used to do to me, what drugs used to do to me, it had no benefit in my life. My ego used to say, oh, it's social. Oh, it's okay, you got to live a little. And then my soul's like, that's a lie. You get to live a lot. There's a lot worth living for in this world. The soul in the middle then, whatever comes your way, you choose. Which means you're taking ownership. You're in full control. So we start from the feelings in a calm, love space, stillness. We then explore the difference in feelings, fear or love. And then when we get these descriptions for fear, triggers, the anxiety, the depression, if you closed all of your eyes to them, it's just discomfort, dis-ease. And if you really were honest and played it all the way out and created the space, found yourself in stillness, took time off of the mind for one day of that moon cycle, the new moon, new mind, it would be sadness. And if we allowed ourselves to be sad, lay out, just know that's all energy coming out from you as a flush. And because it's your soul so close to the truth, you've refreshed. You re-go again. You show up the next day with a new teaching, new understanding, and a new knowing of self. As you've been able to go back, revisit, re-experience, and relabel, rephrase it, remember it, rewrite it. So simplify life down to a choice as feelings. Ego, soul, soul. Fear or love, love. Sadness or love. They are both the soul. If you're experiencing it, create the space and lay it out. And the more we do this, the more we get to choose in every moment. And this is where mastery comes in. We keep bringing awareness to every action, reaction, and then the emotions. So hoping that you have enjoyed this one. Ego will relate to all of us because ego is always there. People say, I want to get rid of the ego. I'm trying to dismiss it, trying to ignore it. The more we resist, the more it persists. The ego becomes your best friend. Like I said, it's my mate I'm having games with all the time. That little inner voice as well. I hear what they say sometimes. I hear those thoughts. Like, ooh. But we're in control. We learn from it. And because we're now in the middle as full awareness, we get to choose the ego reaction. The thoughts is going to throw them all. Nice selection. And after a while, it's like in a retail shop, you keep putting a certain clothes out, no one buys it. In the end, you remove it from the shop. There's no point keep putting it out. It's just using energy. Our body's efficient. So the more we choose that love space, then the darkness, there's no more. It's like a dark room and the light goes on. Where is the darkness now? Only when we choose for it to come back in. When we let the ego creep back in. When we get triggered from an unconscious reaction. So straight to the point. And tomorrow, we're also going to be doing the body workshop. So join me live for a 90-minute call, and we're going to simplify the body, and we're going to see how much more we can do with our body without doing much more. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you all very, very soon.